Hi class, this is Mr. Parker. We are going to learn some job application vocabulary. This is very important because when you apply for the job, you want to know how to answer these questions. The first is overtime. Are you willing to work overtime? Usually the answer is yes. It's also good because you can make more money if you work at overtime. You get more money at a larger rate. Okay. So when you're in an interview, try to say yes, you will work for more overtime. And basically that means it's more than usually your 40-hour work week. The next thing they'll ask you is for a social security number. So this would be the number you first got when you entered the country. So could look like that. Okay. This could be just a sample of a social security number. All right, 3 letters, then 3 numbers, then 2 numbers, then 4. And this identifies you as a U.S. citizen. If you don't have this, if you have either like a visa or a green card, you'll have to put that information down as well. First, they're going to ask you, is there any physical limitation for you to do the job? And if you are healthy, say no, I can do whatever you ask. That's always what an employer wants to hear. But if there is a physical limitation, you need to let them know. They'll still hire you. They need to know. That could be a problem with your body. For example, you can't see well, bad eyes like this guy up here. Bad ears, maybe you can't hear as well. Back trouble or okay, salary range. This is going to be the range in which you'll get paid. So how much money a company pays from lowest to highest. So usually they're going to ask you what your salary range should be, but it's going to be the beginning salary range. And as you stay with the company, you tend to make more and more and more money. Next, they'll ask you, what shifts are you willing to work for? Okay, and that basically means the time you work. Is it days? Is it a day shift? Is it an evening shift? Or is it a night shift, like a graveyard shift? And what you want to say as somebody applying for a job, that you will work whatever shift is available. Okay, because then that's going to open up more opportunities for you to do the rest of gives you more opportunities for you to fit within that career or job, and it makes you more flexible. Okay, so you might want to say you do that. Yes, you do. Will work which ever shift. Your aptitude. They're going to ask you if you have high aptitude. Basically means, are you quick at learning something? If that's the question, always say, yes, I have high aptitude. And we'll practice some of these interview questions coming up. Training. Okay. Have you been had on the job training? Okay. That can look like many different things. You're learning the computers, earning, you're leading. Do you have this type of training? If you have, yes, if you do have some training in the tasks you have at your job, it's good. Okay. Always say, yes, I have training. Okay? It's what prepares you to do the job. It prepares you to do the job provided by it. Okay. Next is a personal interest. Okay, they might ask you what your personal interest, what do you like to do? So I would make sure that personal interest ties into your job. So, for example, if you like scheduling, if you like being a secretary, say you like working with computers, all right. If it's going to be, if you like being outside, that would be a great thing. So you like hiking, that'd be a great thing if you have an outside job. Okay, try to connect your personal interest into the overall career. Skills. Always say that you have the skills. Know what the job requires. Know that you have the ability to do any of these skills, to use the computer, to talk, to think critically, to speak publicly. Very good with your money. Okay. All right. Are you have leadership skills? That would be a great skill to have too. Okay. When you're in an interview, always super highlight your skills. Okay. Something that you know can help you do the job well. The next thing they'll ask you is they'll ask you if you have a conviction or if you have a felony. The answer to this is no. Okay. That's why it's important to stay out of trouble with the law, because it can stop you from getting a job. So since you've not been to jail, okay, you did not commit a crime. If they ask if you have a felony or a conviction, you say no. Basically, have you been in jail is to say if you're a felony or a conviction. Temporary job. Okay. This is a short period job. And we talked about having a temporary job versus a long-term career. Okay. And a temporary job, you want to say it connects something to what your long-term job is. Okay, so it's been a short amount of time you were at that job. This is what you want to say. You want to have a permanent job or a permanent career. And this is what you really have to do when you apply for an interview. You have to stress that this will be a permanent job for you. You will always work for the company unless they tell you to move up and have a better position. Always say that whatever job you are applying for is your permanent job or career. So look at over here. It says a long term. So if you are from 2012 to 2018, that would be a permanent job. Okay? You have a lot of experience. And people like to see you have a job for a long period of time because that means you have experience. Experience is the most important thing you can have when you apply for a job. What is your citizenship? Okay. If you're not what country you were born in, if you are not a citizen of the United States, please stress that you're doing what you can to get your citizenship in the United States. Because they don't want to see people go back to their own country. They want them to stay in the United States, okay, and be able to work. Okay. So if you're not a citizen, explain that you will become a citizen or you're in the process of becoming a citizen. Benefits. These are going to tell you what are the benefits that millennials value most. Okay, all of these are benefits that a permanent career should have. So when you're applying for a job, try to find ones that have benefits. For example, insurance and vacation, sick time. All those are extra things that are good that a job has. So one could be paid vacation, sick leave, insurance, retirement. All those things could be excellent, excellent benefits you have at a job. Another thing they're going to ask you is the date available. Okay. So when they ask you when you are available, your answer should be as soon as possible. Okay. You want them to know you can rely on you, and you can work as soon as you can. They're going to ask if you are a punctual person. The answer to this is always yes. You are a punctual person, meaning you are always on time and not late. They're going to ask you for a reference. So I want you to find somebody that you know, could be a teacher or a previous employer, and they will ask you for your reference. They'll say a good thing about you. You want it to be somebody that you know will say something good about you, because the employer will call to see if you're a good employee or person. They're going to ask you if you have been fired and the boss tells you you need to leave your job because they didn't like what you did. So it's important to not be fired. All right. And if you have never been fired, definitely say no. They're going to ask if you ever quit your job. The other answer is no, you did not. Okay. So if they ask you if you've been fired or quit, you say no. Quitting is when you leave, when the boss, you are leaving your job. You tell the boss you're leaving your job. And that is when you quit or you leave. So make sure you do not do that either. Say, no, I've never quit my job. I've never been fired. I'm going to ask you some questions, okay? And I want you to answer those questions correctly and then practice as if this were an interview, because these are the questions your boss is going to ask you.